And happy Monday. Never miss a Monday. So welcome back to the How Can I Keep From Singing Challenge. My name is Dan Roeder. I am a composer, performer, and educator, and I'm joined here by my co-host and co-pilot for this challenge, Mrs. Pixel. Mrs. Pixel,
Happy
if you want to
Monday.
introduce yourself, happy Monday. Yeah.
Good morning, everyone.
All right.
Welcome to the Singing Challenge Monday edition.
Yes. And you know what we're going to do first? Actually, I know you know because you're already screen sharing. We're going to join the challenge because I see 15 of you now in the community, the How Can I Keep From Singing community. Shout out to the OG, who is actually Marcy Warch. She joined about 3 months ago on the Band Lab, which we're going to go through later. So she's like champion. So thank you, Marcy, for not giving up on this. It took a few months to get it going, but I appreciate you now joining our official community. And Mrs. Pixel is going to show us how to join the actual challenge because I don't know what it looks like on the user end for this. So we're going to do a stumble through together. So Mrs. Pixel, if you look at the top, it says the third tab over, it says challenges. Yeah, go ahead and click on that. I'm just curious what this looks like. Okay, so we have, yeah, good. The checkpoints are there and everything. There should be something that says join the challenge. Oh, registration is closed. That's a me problem. Go to the community participants in future challenges. Oh, wow. I don't even know. So see, I'm glad we're doing this live.
Wow.
And this is where
Super
humility comes from.
exclusive community.
Yeah, I know. I love it. So let me see if I can figure this out live. I'm going to give it a good 45 seconds. If not, now we know the issue of why nobody's able to join the actual challenge.
User error.
User error. All right, challenge settings, prices and access. Let's go. Allow entry after. It was one little button I had to click. All right, now refresh and try again.
Isn't that always the way?
It's one button. Join the challenge. I saw it for a second. Did I turn it back off? Oh, there we go. Oh, wait. It says join community. What is that yellow button that keeps coming up? It should say registration closed. Maybe you have to back out of it and like log back in. Oh, wait. No, I didn't click save. Sorry. 2 buttons. I am one of the most humble people here. Just kidding. All right. So it failed to fetch challenges data. Suggest what? All right, that's our 45 seconds for this. So Mrs. Pixel, you can stop sharing. We'll fix it. But now I've hopefully drawn attention to everybody that I need to change something so that you can join the challenge that I keep asking you to join and nobody's joined. Here's why: because you couldn't. All right. But welcome to the community, and I'm so glad to have so many of you here. We do have a thriving community on X, and that's on my X profile. Or the nas.io/keep singing is the best way to join us. I'm going to put it in the chat now, and I'll go ahead and share it on the screen the whole time. Mrs. Pixel, I would love for you to just, while I'm doing this, tell us a little bit about the pairs and what you're doing and how people can support you.
Yes. Well, yesterday was Sunday. We had karaoke, and it was our 5th episode. Dan was there in the room showing support as we do. And it was so much fun. The episode, the entire night, everyone had such a great time, and we've got tons of clips coming from that. So you can watch out for those clips and see what it's all about, or you can come and show up next Sunday, bring a song, bring some parody, support us by downloading our single, Trials of a Pair, for 69 cents.
Awesome. Yeah, it's so amazing to see all these karaoke communities and shows that are thriving on X because it just says we're at a point in our world history where we need to connect. And what better way to do it than through song? So, yes. So that is a direct link below to, I'm actually going to put that in the chat too. I meant to do that on Friday. I'm going to get in the habit. But you can, instead of doing the whole QR code screenshot picture force press thing, you can always just click on the link that's in the chat. That's also easy. We are link pushers. So that is how you can support Mrs. Pixel and the Pear community. And then this is how you can support me if you would like to. That is just a little tip jar for doing this. The challenge is free. There are ways like in the community platform to support, but the best way is right here. Just, you know, I'm sharing my green, my go button, my growth, and hopefully you're sharing your growth as well. We'll have opportunities to do that within the challenge where we can see how each other is doing. And this is also another call to action that is for everyone. If you would like to come into the studio sometime this week with Mrs. Pixel and myself, then we would love that for you. That would be a great thing, you know, to have some more people come in. Yeah. And so I'd love to start scheduling some folks to come in, tell us what you've been working on, what song you've been working on, get some coaching, give us some ideas. Maybe, you know, I have definitely become a lot more open to group coaching just after day one of this challenge. So it's pretty phenomenal what we can do when we just kind of engage in that low stakes practice and hit the go button and take whatever comes next, you know, together. So without much further ado, let me just put this community link back up here, and I'll toss my link in the chat as well. And then I think we have all the, whoops, that's not what I meant to do. I mean, hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Yeah, I really just want to take care of the housekeeping things, and then we can get started on some warm-ups, touch back on our Laban. We're going to go through these images one more time. This is our last, sorry, I said Laban. I meant Bartinieff. I'm so excited about Laban, which is coming up next week. So Bartinieff, I'm sorry, Irmgard, you can hijack my screen again. But Bartinieff, this is our last week on that, where we're talking about the fundamental patterns of human development and how that's related to our singing through somatic learning. Next week, we're starting Laban, which is more character work. And so we're getting kind of, you know, we're inviting our whole body to the party for singing. And now when we are engaging with Laban, we're inviting our brain, we're inviting our spirit, you know, we're inviting our mind, and our actions and objectives is what we'll be talking about. That's where my theater nerd self will be in full swing. And so watch out for that, Mrs. Pixel.
I can't wait.
It's going to be, did you ever do theater? Are you a theatrical
I did drama
person?
in high school for, you know, just to, you know, just for fun. It wasn't too, it wasn't much. Small high school that I went to, very small.
How small is small? Because you might be surprised.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. A couple thousand.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's huge. That's huge. So I come from Modoc, America, where I lived the last 13 years. It's Alturas, California is where we lived. The high school there is, I think there's about 200 students in the whole high school. And just over the hill in Surprise Valley, I think there are about 25 people in the whole high school. So yeah, it's
wow.
Right? Yeah. So I grew up in St. Cloud, Minnesota, and I graduated from Apollo High School. My graduating class was 436. So,
That's so
you know,
cool.
Yeah. So it's this moving up here to Spokane, America, has been a lot. It's been very different, you know. All right. So enough of that. Let's get into some singing. That's what hopefully everybody came here for. Or some, you know, just entertainment. I think we can deliver that too. All right.
And also, we can deliver tea recipes for warming up.
Thank you. Yes. Ooh, magic tea. All right. Yeah, let me do it now so that I don't forget. So 'tis the season to get sniffly, right? When we're singing, being sick sucks extra muchly.
Much,
So
much too much.
extra much. Yeah. So there is this magic tea that I learned long time ago. I can't remember if it came from my grandma or my aunt, but probably my grandma. And it is very simple but very powerful. It's packed with antioxidants and anti-inflammatories. So I'll put it in the chat as well. 4 cups of water. Water is good. Stay hydrated. And then, oh, I guess I'm putting it one ingredient at a time. Cool. 4 cups of water, and then a tablespoon of honey. And I know this is a international group here, so I don't know what the metric conversion of a tablespoon is, but about a spoon's worth. And then a tablespoon of fresh ginger, fresh if you can, minced ginger. If powdered ginger is what you have, that works too. I've done that many times. And then a tablespoon of lemon juice. And here's the kicker. A teaspoon or less, like maybe a dash of cayenne pepper.
Yes, start small to start and then build up,
yeah.
Once you keep
cayenne don't mess around.
Go heavier. Yeah, cayenne can stop a heart attack.
Really?
You know that? Yeah.
I didn't know that. Well,
soldiers used to carry it on them at all times in the battlefield way back in the day because you could also stuff a wound with it to stop it from bleeding. So
I had no idea. So it's a coagulator too.
It is.
That is interesting. Well, no wonder it's amazing. But yeah, I mean, I think I usually put in probably a half teaspoon to a teaspoon, and I like it that way. But it's like, whew, it clears you out.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's so amazing. All right. The things you never knew. All right, so we're going to go through our fundamental patterns. I will get the slideshow up one more time, just because some of you might just be joining this challenge. And I think it's really important to have these visuals along with this. It just kind of helps cement. Boy, we're full of facts today. About 80% of our information comes through our visual cortex, whether we are seeing or not. And so that is just interesting. That's where the imagination really lives. So if you can just visualize these 7 different fundamental patterns and work your way through that and sequence through every day, that's going to be a win. And it doesn't have to be sitting down for a half hour, or whatever, in just that practice. It can be while you're driving, just becoming aware of your head-tail connection. It can be while you're walking, becoming aware of your cross-lateral patterning. It can be if you're playing basketball, and you're jumping. What does that look like for a homolateral movement and a body half? So we're going to start with breath. And my screen share. I lost my screen share. Wow, I'm really I'm not quite up to speed yet on Monday. Getting there though. Monday, can't trust that day. But we'll learn to. We'll learn to trust it. All right, here's our breath. So, unplug my headphone already too. Oh, the things we do on live TV. All right, so find a place that is just comfortable, feet shoulder width apart, and start just by doing a couple of figure 8s with your hips. I think I mentioned one of the first episodes. My wife laughs at me quite often because I don't know where my hips are, but I'm finding them. Wait, Mrs. Pixel, was it you that said wait, your hips lie? I'm not Shakira.
That's why I said that.
Yeah. That was brilliant. All right, so move that infinity pattern or that figure 8 all the way down each leg and feel it sequence through your knees and down to your toes. And then just start, kind of seeing what happens with your arms as you're moving around. Let them go. And it's often good to just shake, 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 and let them go. See where they go, and see if there's going to be any kinesthetic energy that is pushing through them as you're sequencing. And then you can kind of start bringing that up, and lean into that, whatever it is. So this whole exploration is all about just reminding ourselves that we live in an entire body. We're not just a bunch of parts. We are a sum that is greater, right? So now just kind of sink into a nice tall position with your feet shoulder width apart. Encourage that head-tail connection to go up your spine. And we're really just going to focus on breathing right now. So put your hands on your diaphragm. So it's like right here, right below your rib cage, or 2 fingers above your belly button. It's kind of where that lives. And it's like an inner tube all the way around you. We've got intercostal muscles that help us with this expansion and contraction. And a breath is just X's and O's. So start with your hands on your stomach. And then for our expansion, we're going to just inflate that inner tube as we breathe in, and we become an X, and then we push it together. Pretend like you have a kind of a force between your hands, right? So this is the inhale through your nose, and then out through your mouth. And if you feel tension creeping into your shoulders and your arms, just kind of shake them out. Remind yourself we're releasing tension. And then just keep breathing. Do about 3 or 4 more. Into the nose, out through the mouth. And that is another way to do X's and O's. We weren't being goofy and going like this. We can be nice and open, and then we're condensed, right? And graceful. This is the graceful version of X's and O's. All right. So next, once we have that pattern and we're really connected to our breath, we start to focus in on that core, and we're spoking out from the center in 6 directions: limb, 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 head, and tail, right? So however many of those you have, that's how many that you are reaching out to all those angles. And I always, during this, I get a crickety crack. So just remember, like, your limbs aren't confined to just, this area where they naturally are. They can explore up. There's the heavens and then the earth, right? Exploring down, and they can go in different directions, but do things in a way that you're feeling the sequence of every movement. And then today we're going to just start initiating with different ends and different distal ends. So starting from our fingertip, let's just try this one together. You're just going to point straight in front of you. And then imagine that the energy is coming from your core all the way up your shoulders, down your arm, and then out your fingertip, right? So that is another core distal. And start realizing and investigating and being curious about what connections are present to make that happen and sequence all the way through. And then how far can you go? What comes with it as you go? For me, like, my shoulders come with it behind it, and then actually it brings in my my neck. It's radiating out my neck, and there's this connection from my fingertip all the way up to my head, right? So this is in the core distal. This is just thinking from the core everything's connected right here. Everything in our whole body is connected through our core in some form, right? So just pick a body part and initiate it with it. You have 6 choices. You know, what does it feel like to initiate with your tail? That's kind of weird, but it's okay. You know, we don't need to judge it. This is a judgment-free zone. Lean into the weird, lean into the uncomfortable. But the most important part is if you feel like yourself stop, and maybe something, there's information that's happening when we stop, right? Either something is out of alignment, something isn't balanced, right? And or we just don't know if we can go further, or we have an injury that we have to attend to. Never try and push through your injury when you're doing work like this. Investigate the area around it. We can always find ways to modify, and that's a very personal task, right? But an important one. If something here that we're telling you is not helpful, then don't do it. There's plenty, you know, this is like a cornucopia. Just take what you need. But when it comes to injury, there's, you know, you have to know your body best, right? I have a hip injury from years ago working at a lumber yard where I threw out my hip because I was carrying exterior doors and not doing it correctly. So it's still an injury that I'm living with after like 23 years. And, you know, it's one that I just have to keep modifying for. It may be a reason why I have, you know, issues finding where my hips are, but I keep working at it and it keeps getting a little bit better, you know, every day.
Great
right,
way
so,
to check in with that
yeah.
feedback, and because you may not have known that it was there until
Mm-hmm.
you do something like this, and then it's a reminder because sometimes you just tend to shut that down, cut it off.
Exactly. Yeah, and so when we stop, that's information, and then you have to make the decision. What do I do about it? Is this something I can slowly move through and explore? Like, it can I make that mobility, you know, stretch it out a bit? Can I make it better, or is it something that I need to find ways to modulate or adapt? That was a really good point. All right, so we're taking a little extra time with this, but it's important. So this is, for singers, probably one of the most important connections, and it's the beginning of the head-tail connection coming from our core. We're talking about that navel radiation where we can spoke in any direction, but we're really focusing on that connection, even from our extremities, any extremity, through our core and out our mouth. Think of the baby bird, you know, like the baby bird is just waiting for food. There's, you know, it's waiting for food, but it's also communicating. It's chirping the whole time, right? So we have to think of that as a two-way street where we have things to say, we have things to take in, right? So you want to just imagine that there is kind of a ball of energy right here in your diaphragm. This is your core. And I like to think of colors when I'm doing breathing exercises and when I'm thinking about this, this kinesthetic work and this somatic work. So I always kind of visualize blue for some reason. That's just me. Like breath is blue. And so you can imagine that whatever color it is going to kind of coalesce. And then like it's coming up through a steam, one of those smokestacks on a steamship. Think of that big expanse around you. Remember the inner tube, and then there's air just coming out, up and out. I've been engaged with a few chats on Facebook recently, and people are asking about support. What does support mean? They get the note that it sounds like you need more support. Do it from the diaphragm, you know? But what does that mean? So the diaphragm is this like a little blanket right under our rib cage that is separating parts of our thoracic cavity, right? So it's a huge and strong, important part of our whole body, because when it goes down, it's creating that space to be filled by your lungs. Your lungs don't have any movement on their own. They're organs, they're tissue. The diaphragm is a muscle, and it's autonomic, which means it just works. It just does it on its own. So we can't necessarily say like, I'm going to move my diaphragm exactly 2 centimeters down, but we can be aware of the muscles around it and work on just being aware of that whole ecosystem and how it works to make way for the breath. Okay, so this is something you can do with a partner. I think I talked about it a couple days ago, but if you grab a blanket and grab 2 ends of a blanket, just let it sink down. That's your breathing in, remember, because we expand out. Down is a way of expanding out. And then when we are breathing out, that blanket is like, whoosh, and then it's settling back down as we breathe in, and we get really, really big and expansive. And then we contract, just like our X's and O's. Okay, so that's a very important connection when we are working on breath, is just that connection between your core and the outside world through your mouth. And that goes along, like I mentioned, the head-tail connection, like a snake. And that's where we can get our slitheriness. Our spine can articulate in so many directions, and it's incredible. So that's, back to the hip circles. Start doing the hip circles again, but now just focus on what's happening to your spine as you do that. And then this is going to be, maybe uncomfortable and maybe just like, what are we doing? But try initiating with your tailbone, the hip circles. That's not as hard as maybe initiating with your head. So now just try and initiate the hip circles with your head. I struggle here, full disclosure, because it's not a connection that I'm, as comfortable with as others. And that's going to happen for everybody. So I'm curious, Mrs. Pixel, like, what is that like if you initiate the head-tail connection and you're trying to make hip circles initiating with your head? Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it makes sense, and it's a great way to, like, take you into a different space in your body where the control is so not the same. So it's a little more, uh, it's like being tipsy for me, like
That's yeah, because it's almost like this bobblehead, for me.
yeah.
And that's like and that's where the sequencing pattern, I have work to do, because if you imagine your head-tail connection like a snake, the head moves, and then look what's happening. Some things are happening very much in sequence together and harmoniously. But when I try that same movement with my head, I just did it. Like, so, that's some work too, it's you have to release into that undulating pattern. And that's probably one of the more effuse or I don't know the right word, not intimidating, but it's somewhat intimidating for me, just because it's very fluid. That this movement of a snake, there's things going on both ends of your head and tail as you move. So I know where my work is today. And then just, lastly, we have these larger organizations of movements. We have the upper lower connection that, things are going on, like the breaststroke, I think, is the easiest to really understand this upper lower. But it also has a body half side to side. So it's like this butterfly. So, that's why I love the breaststroke, because our hands left to right are doing the same thing. And our arms and legs, top to bottom, that body half at the waist are doing the same thing too, or at least a similar movement pattern. And so this is where we're really talking about this body half symmetry. And I think, like the flapping wings, like a bird, is a good one, just to kind of find that levity of singing. And that's, if you can move that into that's hard for me. If you can move that into your legs too, that's, kind of if we're talking about, this side of the body, we're moving our leg and our hands in the same direction. You can't see my leg, but imagine I'm doing it. You're probably seeing me like fall over a little bit because I'm not actually looking at myself on the screen. But you kind of, I like to imagine like I have, there's a spaghetti string or, a connection, an extra ligament between my elbow and my knee. And then I can really investigate this body half. And for me, this is good because it's a hip opener. And that's where I have my hip injury. Very often I overcompensate with my left side, and that's something that makes my right side hurt. And so if I'm releasing energy and releasing that tension on both sides, I feel a lot more balanced. Actually, I'm almost out of breath today. We're like working out. All right, so final one, then we're going to start singing. This is the body diagonal. And this is like, it's really like the front crawl. I'm a swimmer, so that's why I keep coming up with these swimmer analogies, where we have something that is going, like the front crawl goes slightly over the midline, but the body diagonal crosses the midline. And that's with any of our limbs, any of these things we've already talked about. It's the most complex and complicated connection because it is contralateral. It's not going to be, fully grounded at every moment. Weightlifters. I've started lifting weight a couple of years ago, and I don't know if people are familiar with the curtsy lunge, but that's where you actually put your one of your legs behind and diagonally. And now I'm not a weight trainer. Don't do what I do, but I'm just explaining. So a curtsy lunge is going to be where, you're starting with that feet shoulder width apart, and then you have a diagonal in the back, and then you are making sure to attend to your ankles, knees, and feet, knees, and ankles to make sure that you're fully grounded the whole time. And it's as you go up and down, you are rebalancing, right? So that is one example of a different contralateral connection. And it's so
resistance there. So you're rebalancing with
right. Exactly. Well, yeah, because you're shifting the physics of your body as you go down. And so you can't lock anything. Everything has to be open and fluid and sequenced. That's how you can get injury. And that's why I say I'm not, I'm not a weight trainer by any means. I do weights myself, but I'm definitely a learner there. So that is the fundamental patterns. This is probably our last time doing them that in depth. But if you look at the first few days last week and, this one, obviously, you'll get the full instruction on that. But I'm also going to start posting some things in our community on NASS.io on the big 8. And there's a lot of Bartinia practitioners around the world that have phenomenal recordings of the big 8, which is like what we literally just went through.
I love all of this, by the way, and I just have to interject here and say,
oh yeah, go for it.
Since I started doing this work and applying it and practice singing and all the combination of it all, and I know it's from these techniques that we're talking about this morning.
Well, I'm so excited to hear that because
I don't have to wear my glasses anymore, and I know it's because of the breath work through the movement. And I've worn glasses for a year now straight, and for the last 3 days haven't needed glasses for typing, reading. No, I haven't.
Oh my God, I just had like goosebumps. That's so cool. It's so funny you mentioned that. I was in a couple discussions this weekend talking about, and somebody even brought that up, like your vision, your senses, basically, but especially within your visual cortex, when you are looking at things holistically and looking at practices like meditation or body awareness or like holistic breathing, whatever that looks like, when we are in tune with our whole body, our body tends to release these tensions. And the person was actually saying that there's, you know, there can be tension in our eyes that can be released, which is so
Yeah,
interesting to me.
and it feels great too. I can feel the release as well.
Yeah.
Reaping the benefits. It's
Oh,
been
that's
huge.
awesome. Well, just, I mean, and I got to say, since we started doing this last week, I haven't been a great practitioner. I do things like this when I stretch because I go running every day, but I haven't really done a lot of this deep work. And I found myself today a little out of breath because when you're really attending to that, it should be work. And that when you're really attending to singing, it should be work, right? We should feel tired. We shouldn't feel in pain. Like, that's a difference. You know, that's it. Our body tells us, like, our vocal cords are, you know, everything right here in our whole vocal mechanism. It tells us by you know, producing the heat, that feeling of red hot, that, all right, we need to go hydrate, get some water, take a break, vocal rest, whatever that looks like, because we're overusing our voice instead of pushing from here. So this, I guess, you know, now that
There's
you
so
brought,
many layers, a lot to think about, but
there
it's so
are,
important.
yeah. Well, and I think this is really a response to people saying, sing with your diaphragm. And then other people saying, what does that mean? You know, well, this is
Mhm.
what it means. It means that our whole body is connected. And if we do nothing else from this 30-day challenge, then breathe better, that's a win. Because uh,
Absolutely.
typically, as 21st century humans, we are horrible at breathing. That's,
Yeah,
or
and
no,
you
let me reframe
can
it. We
learn to
have,
breathe better.
yeah, we have a lot of work to do with breathing. So
We
let
do,
me
and it can
reframe it more
lower your I was
positively.
gonna say, it can lower your blood pressure too, so you might
Yeah.
experience that as well.
Well, and de-stressing, you know, singing, yeah, man, we should do like just like a whole webinar on
Mm.
the benefits of music and singing. So coming up next, post challenge, here we go. We're gonna go on a world stage. All right, singing, that's what we're here for, right? He asks an hour into a live stream. No, 37 minutes, we're good.
So good.
All right. We're gonna do some sirens today, just because I feel like after a weekend, ain't nothing like a siren. So just follow my my direction, and
Okay.
when my finger goes up, we're gonna go up and pitch, and down, we're going down and pitch. So for early singers, or if you're just beginning on your singing journey, this is really good because the best way to find a note you can't really hear is to slide to it and you feel it lock in. So let's go. Oh, you can't see my hand anymore. I'll try to keep it high. All right, so here we go. All right, kind of fun, right?
Wow.
It's a good homework check too, because that was the first assignment. Is find a place where you can beat Goofy. All right, let's go na. With the na, the N is going to help us kind of initiate that openness. Na, kind of like the ha, the H we talked about last week. Na. And then it's also going to let us and invite us to relax our jaw. Number one, maybe it's tied for number one with the shoulders, but number one place of tension is the jaw for singers. Na 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 na. And also you can invite your tongue to kind of just hover on the front teeth, the bottom front teeth. Na 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 na. 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 Okay, so information that I'm noting about my voice is that down, you know, about a low E flat, the E flat below middle C for me. I'm feeling just like there's some crud, like so. Try not to cough when you are sick. I'm just getting over being sick, and I have to just remind myself, and my wife actually helps me remind me quite often, like, don't cough, just try and I mean, obviously cough if you have to, but the more H's you can do, that's going to shake things up, and then that'll help kind of work through the crud. But coughing is a huge traumatic event for our vocal cords. Okay, so same thing. Na 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 na. We're just changing direction. Na 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 na. 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 All right, and as always, when we're doing vocal exercises, if it's too low or too high, drop out or modify. Let's go back to our E-O, 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 E. This is like a boomerang. E is in the back. O, E, O, E, O. O, E, O. Oh, whoops. Yeah, not that. Sorry. O, we, O, we. E-O, 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 E. 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 See, I'm getting to that range. E-O, 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 E. So I'm going to add more H. E-O, 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 E. E-O, 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 E. That's going to really help loosen things up. And then same exercise, just going up. E-O, 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 E. 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 And I'm going to modify to Y-O-Y. If it starts feeling high, you can start modifying. Y-O-Y-O-Y-O-Y-O-Y. Y-O-Y-O-Y-O-Y-O-Y. Add an H. Y-O-Y-O-Y-O-Y-O-Y. Y-O-Y-O-Y-O-Y-O. Let the jaw go. Y-O-Y-O-Y-O-Y-O-Y. 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 All right, nice and light. And you can always add a gesture. This helps a lot. This helps throwing. There's the over the top. There's the throwing a frisbee. There's the pulling taffy. Whatever movement helps you really get that energy going. It helps us get the breath spinning forward. I love that concept of spinning breath. It's just this continuous renewal of energy all the way to the release. So let's talk about this for just a sec. Every single note you sing has its own life, right? It has a beginning, a middle, and an end. The beginning is called the attack. So what's the consonant as singers? We have to know, is it a plosive, like a P? Is it a bilabial, like a B? Is it like something that's in the back of our throat, like a K? Is it a T? So what is that attack? What is the body of the note, the duration? is going to be kind of that middle. Is it long and sustained? Is it short and crisp? And then there is the decay. I wish there was a different word for it, but the decay of a note, the end, I guess. And then how do we release it? How do we move on from that to the next note? And as singers, we'll be talking, in the second half of this whole challenge, we're talking a lot more about performance practice and specific challenges for vocal music, especially like terminal consonants. That's what, if like in the word pat, the t is a terminal consonant. And is there going to be a space between that and the next sound? Is it going to be elided and connected? So these are things we're going to start thinking about quite often. But this next exercise is going to have a very short life of each note. The attack is going to be a ha, it's the H sound, and then it's like the feeling of if somebody like punched you in the stomach, it's not to be confused with the glottal, which is just the vocal cords kind of stalling out, like you stalled a stick shift. But it's just, it's very, it's a pulse of air, right? And then it just is released. It just goes into the ether. Okay, ha 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 ha. We've done it before, but now we're picking things apart. Ha 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 ha. Ha 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 ha. Think the separation. Mrs. Pixel, just checking in. How does that feel for you? Like that particular exercise?
It feels warm. Like it has a warming effect throughout my abdomen area.
Abdomen, good. I'm like, where is it warm? Because yeah, abdomen here, that's good. That means that, that's kind of the intention behind it, is the H gets our diaphragm going. If you need a diaphragmatic hack, just add an H, right? And almost nobody hears it. So it's
awesome.
Really, and that is so awesome. Oh, t-shirt. That's got to be a t-shirt. So awesome.
That's a t-shirt.
There we go. Yeah. Wow. So many ideas. All right. So let's do our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because we let a weekend happen between the last time we did it. Whoo! Just a reminder. I'll just sing it. I'll just sing it so that you guys can kind of remember it. If we don't have to break it down, great. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1, 5, 4, 5, 3, 5, 2, 5, 1, 5, 4, 5, 3, 5, 2, 1, 5, 4, 5, 3, 5, 2, 5, 1, 5, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1, 5, 4, 5, 3, 5, 2, 5, 1, 5, 4, 5, 3, 5, 2, 1, 5, 4, 5, 3, 5, 2, 5, 1, 5, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8. I want to dwell here for just a moment, because a lot of young singers, especially, or if this exercise is new, they'll often say 3 but sing 4, and this at the end of it, so it goes 1, 5, 3, 5 instead of 1, right? 1, 5, 3, 5, that descending minor third, and then we go 6, 7, 8. It's like icing on the cake. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1, 5, 4, 5, 3, 5, 2, 5, 1, 5, 4, 5, 3, 5, 2, 1, 5, 4, 5, 3, 5, 2, 5, 1, 5, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1, 5, 4, 5, 3, 5, 2, 5, 1, 5, 4, 5, 3, 5, 2, 1, 5, 4, 5, 3, 5, 2, 5, 1, 5, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 3, 2, 1. 1, 5, 4, 5, 3, 5, 2, 5. 1, 5, 4, 5, 3, 5, 2. 1, 5, 4, 5, 3, 5, 2, 5. 1, 5, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8. Last one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 1, 5, 4, 5, 3, 5, 2, 5. 1, 5, 4, 5, 3, 5, 2. 1, 5, 4, 5, 3, 5, 2, 5. 1, 5, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right. If you found that challenging, it's okay. I've taught it to kindergartners and they've nailed it. So you got this. You got this. I'm not talking to you, Mrs. Pixel. I know you're already pro.
Better.
Wait, I didn't. Maybe I should rethink my motivational talks. All right. Hydration moment, everybody. Get some water. All right. So, Mrs. Pixel, let's get into your song because I want to cap at an hour. I intended 15-minute lessons, but this has become a thing. So now we're doing like hours of content.
The intentions are there, though.
The intentions are there, right? Well, and sometimes I do this, very often. Actually, I think something will take like just a few minutes, and I am realizing I have no concept of time, but I do want to make sure we do the work fully. So it looks like an hour is where we might be settling on. So everybody, you're welcome for the extra 70 hours of content this is turning into.
Absolutely.
Yep. All right. So do you want to just kind of give a quick summary for new folks of where we are with the song, maybe, what your experience has been so far. And then the goal for these, I think is days 7 and 8, it's going to be checkpoint 4, is set your intentions, set your objectives, and make those goals. Assignment 1 was find your space, and then we found our song. Now we're finding our intentions, and then the next piece we're going to do starting tomorrow, we're going to find our key, and I'm going to start introducing a little app called BandLab, which I'm very excited about. So that'll be kind of the academic moment tomorrow. But I want you to just kind of tell us about the song, and then what are your intentions for this song?
Okay. So
I know I sprung that second one on you.
The song choice was, I chose the song simply because it's made a great comeback for Gen Zers and little alpha warriors out there, which I have one, and this is his favorite song. So that's pretty much it. I chose it to kind of throw it back to my boy and
that's awesome.
See if I could challenge myself to sing it. And it's really, 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 really been very challenging. And I get so out of breath when I'm singing it. So there's a lot for me to learn. It's given me a lot of feedback.
Well, no, this is great. And I think you mentioned before that about the comeback, but I didn't realize it had that very personal family connection. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
So the song is, in case you can't see it down there, it's Tears for Fears, Everybody Wants to Rule the World. So we're just going to do a full run through, Mrs. Pixel, if that's cool, because I think we hit the bridge last week, right? I think, maybe?
Mm-hmm. I think
okay, so yeah, let's go for it. Just pretend like you're up on stage. You hear that little Sing King sound effect. You're getting ready to just nail it. So let's get into performance mode, and then I'm gonna have you actually kind of be your own teacher for a moment and tell me what you observed. So I just want to front load that. Just make observations and non-judgmental observations. So the difference would be, oh man, I missed that note. I'm so disappointed. You can reframe that to, oh, there's a note I have to sequence through or work on more. Here's where it is. Do you see that? I think everybody hopefully can see the difference, because this whole somatic work is all about building confidence. And we can be, when it comes to singing, some of our own worst critics. So good to go, Mrs. Pixel?
Good to go.
Good to go. Let's do it.
I'm doing the whole song.
Whole song. Yep.
Oh boy. Okay.
or
Reset
the whole song,
until I
as
can't
much
breathe
as possible
anymore.
until you stop breathing. Yes.
Okay. Go. Welcome to your life. There's no turning back. Even while we will find you acting on your best. Just in your best, mother. Everybody wants it's my own design. It's my own design. Help me to decide. Help me make the most of freedom and the pleasure. Nothing ever lasts forever. Everybody there's a room where the light and the hand of the ocean on the side. In the still of the right behind. So glad we almost made it. So sad we had to leave. Everybody wants you're my great. I can't stand it in this every window everybody wants to do. Tell me that you'll never let me live. Why am I why? Everybody wants all for freedom and separation. Nothing ever lasts forever. Everybody wants all right.
I forgot to mute myself. Yeah. So yeah, amazing. If you want to hear, oh, wait, I keep forgetting. I'm driving the shares. So let me go ahead and share the music. And first, before we dive in, observations. What did you observe?
I observed. I was actually. I can't remember which kind of towards the end, the second part before the end. I really when I said I was doing the figure eights there, like I started to put myself in that
Oh,
headspace
cool.
where I was really tuning into the fact that I there's a lot of throwing it back and forth around, throwing that beat around. I don't know. I
Yeah.
just I noticed that I'm kind of all over the place and really need to get more into that. Um, I don't know what the right word would be.
Like in the pocket of the
in
beat,
the
or
and yeah, and well, the harmony, all of it really, just sort of it's like I could see the movement of it
yeah.
coming together, and
That's you just gave a really phenomenal observation because it was all framed in what you saw or felt or experienced. And then you also identified a possibility. You said, I can really work on getting, and we said like into the pocket or whatever that means, locking into the rhythm. And that was my biggest observation too. When we go back to the track, I'll have you bring the track down a little bit, like on YouTube. We'll play with some settings because I want to be able to hear your voice better. It was being kind of covered, especially when you got lower in the range. I want to ask you, just because I couldn't hear it, when you got to the first "Everybody Wants to Rule the World," everybody wants to rule the world. How was your breath on "World"? Did you have enough breath to go through it?
the first time, yeah. But
Okay.
it was better. It obviously needs improvement, but yeah, for me, it was better. It
No, yeah, no,
in the
that's
last
awesome because I heard everything down to like "Wants to Rule the World," and then I think you just got kind of overshadowed by the track because it's so
Mhm,
low in the range, But
mhm.
I heard that you had a lot more gas, so I just want to make sure.
Yeah,
But it sounded phenomenal, and so I also was hearing some really open Julia Child's vowels that made me smile,
yeah, yeah.
especially on the wants like. Everybody wah. Yeah, instead of like wah.
Yes,
It's a really weird and kind of strange vowel
it is.
sound. Want.
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm.
But you had it nice and open and tall, like wah. Uh, good. So let's go to that the spot we worked on last time. There's a room. I think it's the bridge, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. So I want to just kind of teach a new technique here, and I think it could really help investigate that pocket, whatever we want to call it,
Yeah.
because this song is in 12/8, and if people don't know what that really means, it just means that we have twos and threes going on at the same time, and so that I think is maybe we're starting in a song that is very complex and complicated. Share my screen beginning. There's even parentheses in a time signature. And I know some of us might even be thinking like, what's a time signature? Why is that important? Oh, Marcy! Marcy is here. Marcy Ward,
Aw.
hello. And Marcy gets like a huge shout out right now because she is the original BandLab student. And we
Coaching
did the
Yogi in the
hymn.
house.
Right, yeah. We did the hymn, How Can I Keep From Singing? So Marcy, if you would ever like to come on with us, you have like first privilege to come into the studio and practice what you want to be working on. And we also have Stylers.
Styles,
Nice.
my the
Styles!
host of karaoke in the
Woo!
house.
House. Here we go. All right, this is awesome. All right, so let's take a look at that. The incredible interestingness. Ooh, Marcy just responded. How do I do that? I'll give you a call, Marcy. I will tell you. But we'll get you connected this week. Awesome. And Sile says hello.
Hello, hello, partner.
It's a family show now. But here's for anybody watching. This is the best place to get, especially as we get into BandLab this week. I'm only going to be sharing the BandLab code in the community. Marcy right now is the only person in that class, so you can join Marcy. And but I just internet safety. I'll explain about BandLab at the end. But I just want to make sure everybody can get into the community, which is right here, nas.io/keep singing. And this is where you can join the official challenge when I figure out how to open up that setting.
Yeah.
So without much further ado, here is the sheet music. And so here's what I was talking about. that right here, it's 12/8. And so they even in parentheses are like, it's 4/4. So, you know, you have this little guitar intro like that's you. We could be thinking of that 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3. That's 12/8 notes, or we can be thinking 1 2 3 4, right? So that's you know maybe part of what you're experiencing, and
Mhm.
knowing is half the battle. Just knowing that it's much more helpful in 12/8 to be thinking of the super beat 3 4 1 2 3 4. Everybody wants to rule the world, right? So we're
Mhm.
not used to seeing quarter notes with a little dot. All that means is when this is here, let me circle it. This is the most important unit is right here. That's one beat, right? If we're talking 4/4, 1 2 3 and 4. This one's kind of split into two different notes. That's all you have to know. We're not going to get a lot into the music theory or note reading in this course. I'll probably do a music theory challenge at some point because this is fun. That's where I nerd out, if you haven't noticed. But I want to go down to this this little bridge part because I want to talk about the springboard. And a springboard is, I'm glad we're talking about rhythm, taking this rest and giving it energy. So my definition of music is anything that is organized, sound, and silence. The organization here is that we're starting with silence, and then we have kind of this explosive, there's a room where the light won't find you. It's exciting because it is the beginning of the bridge. It's a different concept, kind of like a summary concept of the whole song. It starts differently. Instead of just this 1 2 3 4, we have one, ba-da-da-da-da, right? So we have to kind of explode off of that springboard.
Mhm.
So what I mean is we want to give it weight. So this is what you're going to practice, and why we're doing the whole movement piece is that let's see what comes right before. It's a second ending, of course it is. So we have end of pleasure, nothing ever lasts forever. And then we have everybody wants to rule the. Does it really stop with that? Yeah. We don't even say the word. I didn't even know that about this song. It's like they interrupt themselves.
Right. Yeah.
Because everybody wants to rule there's a room, it's like
Yeah.
squirrel moment, like I'm gonna say the word world really really deeply, but instead I'm gonna say there's a room over there, where the light's not gonna find you. So that makes this rest. This is like a pregnant pause, right? So this is where you have to really pivot. It's so interesting. When you start looking at the structure of a song, it can often inform itself. Well, it always informs itself, but we have to know where to look, right?
Right.
So when you get to this this part right here, everybody wants to rule the world. I want you to pretend like you're singing the word world on the second ending, but instead we're just going to use that as an opportunity to take a big trapdoor breath, right? This is where it comes from practice to process to procedure. So we have everybody wants to rule there's a room, right? Let me slow it down just a little bit so we can kind of focus on that breath, making sure your shoulders are nice and relaxed. We're nice and open all the way around. And then we have to, let me ask you, what word are we going to? Right in this phrase. There are a lot of acceptable answers.
You like the whole line up, including.
Well, no. So yeah, in this phrase right here, there's a room where the light won't find you. What's our phrasal destination? What's our target syllable?
You?
And for the
Maybe.
so I'm going to say yes. You know, if that's what you're feeling, let me just tell you, there's a way to support everything. So that means if we choose it as you, everything we're doing before goes into the word you, right? And so that's on your score, or if you're using a score or just a mental note, this whole phrase has to go to into the word you. So it's one. There's a room where the light won't find you, right? Everything's just big, 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 big. That's not what I would do, and that's why I love it, because it works, right? We just have to put the breath behind it to make it work in that way. So if that's your interpretation
Maybe
of it,
light,
then
actually, after you
what?
do that, I'm kind of thinking maybe the word light might be
That's what
a
I would do. Yeah, and
yeah.
maybe this was a trick question, because there's actually kind of two. This is like a sub destination. There's a room. This is like the interruption. You know, this is like we have the springboard and pregnant pause, and this is the energy shift. And then these are just kind of the technical term is anacrusis, but it's like a pickup. There's a room where the light won't find you, right? So that's, I would really go towards the word light. And this is we'll be getting into this a lot in our Laban work. Is, you know, really intentionally being able to back up our choices for phrasal destinations. So let's try it that way. This is how it might sound. There's a room where the light won't find you. So out of those two ways I did it, which one did you like better? Just objective or subjectively?
The way that you just did it this last version
Okay,
here.
so now you do it. Let's start with there's a room, and then we'll go over the seam. You know, like we'll go over the pause. So, but just start right on there's a room. So there's a room where the light won't find you, and I really want to hear you go towards the word light.
Go towards the light.
Go to the light safely.
There's a room where the light won't find you.
Yep, and so this one, it's going to be the same note as there's a room where the light, you know. So we sing, it's the same as but and the, and so we're kind of hovering around this note, this D. There's a room where the light won't find you. Yep.
There's a room where the light won't find you.
Good. I'm starting to hear it. Yeah, that was excellent. So now I want you to do, this is the taffy pull, which I don't think I've talked about. I just mentioned it briefly. But we'll go, there's a room there. I can't play and do taffy at the same time, apparently. There's a room where the light won't find you, right? So we're just kind of expanding that out. There's a room where the light won't find you. You know, it kind of mirrors our breath, right? But if we really get our body into that, we're getting kind of this destination of there's a room where I light. Actually, this works better for me. There's a room where the light won't find you. So try whichever one of those movements works better, either pulling taffy or over the top.
Okay. There's a room where the light won't find you.
Good. And now I want you to sink in, like with your body, just let your knees go down. Unless I think you said sometimes you're sitting down or laying down or whatever, right? So whatever makes the most sense. So we're sinking into the ground on the word light. There's a room where the light won't find you.
There's a room where the light won't find you.
Good. Yeah. Now this little pesky word right here, room. Isn't that a fun vowel? How if we Julia Childs it, it would be there's a room where the light won't find you. Light room. It's kind of like an R-U-H-M. There's a room. Room. There's a room where the light won't find you. Yeah, let's just open up that room. Go for it.
There's a room.
Ooh, I heard the H. See, there you go. You're just applying techniques like a master, like a boss. All right, here we go.
There's a room where Oh man.
Dude, you're
There's
making
a
yourself. You got.
room where the light won't find you.
Good. You know what was really interesting? When you made yourself laugh and you brought smile into the phrase, it really opened it up. And that's sometimes it's a cue I often give folks is just smile through it. There's a room where the light won't find you. You're telling somebody a secret. It's like, hey, life sucks right now, but there's a room where the light won't find you. Or that's a really odd phrase, isn't it? Why wouldn't we want the light to find it? I'm curious about this song now.
Secrets.
The secrets. Yeah.
Sneaky
Oh
little
my
room. I don't
goodness. Oh wow. Yeah. No, there's a secret room where you can stash away all of your secrets. Interesting. All right. Well, that's more of a Laban thing too. It's like, what is the motivation? What's the action? What's the objective? All right. But let's this time go for broke, and then we're gonna connect it to the rest of it.
There's a room where the light won't find you.
Yes, I heard it. I heard it. I heard the intention behind it. So I love it. I got chills. Wow. If you're giving yourself chills, that's like next level. That's amazing.
It was in the back of my head, actually. Back of my head chills.
Okay, good. Yeah, that like your heckles, right? It means you're emotionally connected to it. That's awesome. But also, did you feel a tickle behind your nose?
I didn't notice.
Back. Okay, and that, yeah. Well, try it one more time, and I want you to just kind of focus on being aware of a tickle behind your nose. And it sounds like it's there, but I want you to feel it.
There's a room where the light. I'm focusing too hard.
Yep. Yeah. Just let it go. Pull taffy. Do the thing.
Yeah, the thing. There's a room where the light won't find you.
Did you feel it?
No tickle.
Okay, that's okay. It's because it's sounding like you're really opening up the back of your like your soft palate's lifting on the word light. Light. La. Yeah, just say that.
Light won't find you.
Yeah, Julia Child did.
There's a light won't find you. The light.
Yeah,
the
light. Now we're being goofy. Yeah, so that's that's good, and it's good to be aware. Like, I don't feel that tickle behind the nose, because what that sensation is, it's like either like behind your eyeballs or right behind your nose. It's kind of where you have like this Pac-Man space, right? When you really open up and back. Actually, yeah. If Julia Child's a ha, it should be fairly easy to find. Like ha, ya, ha. Try a ha, ya, ha. Yep.
But you know what? I am getting a lot of behind the eyes stuff. So
that's good. That's behind the eyes is exactly what you're looking for. Yeah. So I think as you become more aware of that feeling, that's an awareness of your soft palate lifting, which is it's awareness. It's all about awareness, right? Your soft palate is lifting. That's creating more space, more resonant space, and it's allowing you to really fully support that. It's just one of many things working together to give the word light emotional content and emotional meaning. All right, so this is great. The light bulb. Nice. All right, I'm super curious. I've been looking at the sheet music for a while now, so I want to see if anybody has commented. No, that's okay. I thought maybe once. Oh yeah, Marcy did comment on it. I knew she would. Yes. Oh, good question, Marcy. And I'm so glad you're here. So I did, Mrs. Pixel, you're not alone in the universe. Marcy endured a 3-hour workshop on this, and I think we were both exhausted by that. By the end of it, I know Christelle was there for the first bit, and then she had to jet. But Marcy was there the whole time, and that's why she's the OG. Marcy, it's really all about the physical sensations. And so that soft palate raising behind the eyes, it's like a behind the eyes tickle. When your jaw is nice and relaxed, there should be, you know, kind of that sense too of that cavernous space behind your eyes. And then it's really just a matter of taking inventory. I think that's the best thing to do, and why we start with breath, because when we're breathing, we can really take inventory of what's going on, what's locking up. Do we have neck tension? Do we have shoulder tension? Do we have our knees locked, which is not great for singers because we could fall over, right? How can we release the tension and support, pretending like energy is coming through the ground? That's another really just general broad-based sensation, is pretend like the energy is coming from the core of the earth and traveling up your legs and out the top of your head. So then you're just kind of imagining yourself as this channel of energy. And that's where I think I told you the story, Mrs. Pixel, about the student. And I was trying to get this like steamship metaphor going with her. I'm like, you know, those on the steamships, the cruise ships, these big columns of air. But instead of actually, you know, starting there, I just said, do you know what a ship is? And it didn't land. So I'm awkward sometimes. Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, I appreciate all of you being here so much. Yep. Yay. Laughy emoji. Okay. So I do want to finish, you know, this moment that we're doing, and then we'll end it for here. Because my goodness, we've been going almost an hour and a half again. Mrs. Pixel, you're a saint.
Time is flying.
Yeah, time is a flying. So
it's a good thing.
Yeah. All right. So we want to connect this to everybody wants to rule the interrupt ourselves, you know, and then squirrel, there's a room where the light won't find you, you know.
Right.
Let's bridge this up. We're literally bridging the bridge. There I did it again. Yesterday when I came on the karaoke show, I said the word literally 4 times. And I never literally use the word literally ever in a sentence.
Good for you, because everybody uses that word. It's so abused.
I know. I know, right? Yeah, I'm trying. I need to like curb that now, wherever that came from. All right, so let's go with just start right on the everybody wants to rule the, and then trapdoor. I want you to get a nice trapdoor in there. Give yourself time, you know. I would much rather have you, this time we go through it, take the time to breathe. And then there's a room, you know, that's the trapdoor releasing. That's the blanket going up, right? All right, here we go. And there's your first note.
Everybody wants to rule the, there's a room where the light won't find you.
Nice. Yeah, that was really, really good. Okay, so now you did everything, all the technique was there. Like I heard the technique. Now I want to hear the energy and start, you know, we'll start to really spin the breath forward. If you're not standing, if you are able to stand up, you know, just kind of, you're what?
Okay. I am standing.
Wait, for okay, perfect. Yeah. So just kind of reset yourself, feet shoulder width apart, shake out your hands, let it go. And then I want you to just support either with a gesture or taffy or this over the head gesture, however you can move with this. I want to try just moving first and then see what that does. But we want to get this energy moving forward, like the whole line. Everybody wants to rule the, there's, oh wait, what is it? There's a room?
There's a room. Yep.
There's a room. Okay. Everybody wants to rule the, there's a room where the light won't find you. You know, it's like you're telling somebody a secret that you just remembered. Okay, that's the feeling. All right, here we go.
Everybody wants to rule the, there's a light won't find you.
Good. Yeah. So this time I want you to, I heard some thinking over the breath, which is good, you know, but I want you to try and do it now, go to without thinking, you know, and that's a very Buddhist approach, isn't it? We have the thinking, not thinking, without thinking, right? So we want to go for that that automaticity of I see that breath. I'm thinking of like a springboard, and the springboard is really just like we still hit the downbeat, but the energy is on beat too. So we have there's a room. Actually, yeah, go ahead and clap this time. You can clap. So it's gonna sound like this. Everybody wants to rule the. There's a room where the light won't find you. Just give it a clap. We're marking time. All right, here's your note.
Everybody wants to rule though. There's a room.
Yeah, you got so excited you went up like a whole step. Yeah, so it's going to be the same note. Everybody wants to rule the. There's a room where the light. Right? Yeah. No, that was great. I heard the energy.
Tears for fears is for real.
Tears for fears and fears for tears. So yeah, I mean, I heard so much energy that it made you modulate, which is amazing.
Mhm.
All right, here we go. Now we'll just do the same thing but grounded.
Everybody wants to rule though. There's a room where the light won't find you.
Oh my gosh, do you guys hear the difference? Did you feel the difference, Mrs. Pixel?
I felt the difference. Big time for him.
Big time, yeah. And so that's where we see a rest in music, and often that can become a black hole. That's not what we want. Rest can create energy, right? All it is saying, there's so much energy going on right here that I have to give, that I need to make way for it. I need to make room, right? So there's a lot of potential energy in a rest that goes into kinetic, and that pushes the line forward, right? Oops, where am I going? All right, so let's put that away for today. I think that was a huge win.
Yes.
And
definitely a huge win. Connecting all those dots, ticking those boxes.
Applied technique is much different than just learning technique, right? Let's see, I'm trying not to close the wrong thing. I almost like just went off the air. Like, bye, y'all. All right, so we got Styles is still in the house. He's laughing. He's got some yeah. Oh, this is fun.
He's learning.
Let's see. I think I missed some comments. Oh yeah, we got Monique too. Monique's here.
Hello, Monique.
And then Marcy's here, and she's. Oh wow, we got a lot of things going on here. Marcy, you'll have to ask because I wasn't paying attention to the chat. Sorry. She said, "How do I do that?" And that's okay. Just you can shoot me a message or type here. But it's so good to see everybody. I love the we got Monique's got some things going on. Ooh, look. I think I didn't see this, but yeah, Styles is giving the same advice. We're opening up.
Good advice.
Yeah. Sure. Light. That's the Julia Child. So nailed it, Styles. Light. Right. I had Dr. Stalter, who is when I was in Cantor at University of Iowa, he always had this imagery and metaphor to get that tickle space behind it. It works for me every time. He said, imagine like you're just about to take a bite of a turgid apple. And I had to look up the word turgid, and I'm like, what? I have to look it up again. I didn't know what it meant. But like a turgid apple is something that is swollen typically by fluids. So it's a turgid apple. Isn't that interesting?
Very tactile information.
Right. But it's that like it's the apple biting. Like it really helps. Like when you take a big bite of an apple, we have to have that soft palate raised. We're making as much space as we can.
Once you bring in the apple analogy, then you're feeling it in the muscles because you're imagining that memory is
exactly.
there.
Exactly. And I think the turgid apple just says like it, and that's it has to do with the fluidity of it, that when you take a bite of the apple juice everywhere, right? And so you're I don't know. We don't need to chase down that metaphor, but it's very helpful, I think, in just it's that feeling. You can feel that tickle behind your nose. At least I can right away when I imagine I'm about to take a bite of an apple or a pear. Pears are really good too. I was all right. Oh, yay. Thank you for being here, Marcy, and everybody. We'll do a little community roundup right now of how we can join the challenge and do all this together. So let's wrap up because we've been on for an hour and a half. This is our longest one yet. I hope your husband doesn't kill me as soon as he meets me. Or I don't know, maybe
like, he's smiling. He's enjoying himself.
Good. Well, I appreciate your time. You know, this has been so cool. So for those, go ahead.
Very, very fun to be here. So yeah.
I actually couldn't imagine a better way to start my days because here's like the treat that I actually put it on my calendar a week ago, and this is what manifesting looks like. And when you just like decide with intention what you're gonna do, I have 15 minutes set aside for this hour and a half show. But then I also gave myself time to run the dog and kind of get ready for work. So I have my day set up so that I can have a bit of flexibility, and I am so glad to be spending it here for the next 22 days with you and everybody else in the challenge. So this is the How Can I Keep From Singing challenge. It is a free challenge, and I will right after this figure out how to open up the actual challenge in the community because apparently I think I might just have to change the start date or something. I don't know. I thought I clicked the box that said it can be joined at any time, but that's a me problem. You can join here, at least join the community, and then the link is also in the chat. I know it's in the chat on Twitch and YouTube. I don't think on Facebook it may not have worked. If you're watching through Facebook, let me know. LinkedIn, I don't know, like comments don't always work through these third-party streaming services, but I love doing it this way because we can reach so many different platforms at the same time, and everybody can join us right here in this NAS community, NOS. Amazing, really user-friendly to start product. But apparently when you set up a challenge, I have to learn more about that. So yep. All right. So Mrs. Pear, if you can just, we gained about like 20 people since the beginning of this show. If you can just kind of let them know how they can support you and what you pairs are all about.
All right.
I got to go to karaoke last night. I was so excited.
Yay. It was awesome. We had a great time. Karaoke is our spaces we host with our community is Pair, we're a meme coin. You can find out all about us. We have a phenomenal website, paircoin.xyz, or you can go paircoin.xyz/karaoke and find all the details there. You can pick up our song Trials of a Pair for just 69 cents and come check us out.
Yeah. All right. So, and here is how you can support me. If you are getting value out of this, I'm glad you're here. And this challenge is free. I just want to lead with value. This is me sharing my green, my go button. And if you have any green to share, always appreciate it as well. And we can share green together because green stands for growth as well. I actually made this image in Pixio, and I used just 3 words, and it was green, go, growth. And that's what it came up with. So I like to imagine that little center green circle is my go button because this is something I've been wanting to do for a long time. And I just had to, sometimes you got to hit the go button and just do it, like Nike that. And then you see where you could use some improvement. And then you also see where you shine. So I'm seeing both. And I love continually working on myself, building in public. So
thank you, Dan. Thanks for all of this information, all the energy that you give, and you just put everything into it. You bring yourself, and it makes it fun.
Thanks so much. Well, we have a few comments from I like this one.
He's cool.
He's cool. But look, this is for you too. Great job, lad and lass. I love it. Thank you, Styles, for being here and for joining us. Let's grow. Yes.
Grow.
Yes. Yes. All right. So tomorrow, we are going to be getting into BandLab. Let me make sure. Yeah, I'm in just the one I can show, because I use BandLab for education. So I'm always very careful about what I show on the screen, because some of it in different classes is student work. I want to make sure I'm respectfully protecting everybody's privacy. And I'm very aware of that, being a certified special education teacher. So, but this is our community on BandLab. You don't have to join everything all at once. I would say if you're like, this is too much, I'm watching live streams and I'm in an X community and I'm in NOS and now I'm in a BandLab, I would say for right now, just join the NOS, and that's fine, because you can always do this stuff later. But I'm only going to be putting the join link. Sorry, you can't see what I'm talking about. I thought I was sharing. I was not. You can. I'm only putting the join link to this BandLab class in our NOS community. Okay. And so what we're doing with this is the first assignment is actually already there. I did it like 6 months ago. I think only one student is in there right now, and that's Marcy Ward. Shout out. Whoop, whoop. So we'll be able to do some assignments together. This very first one is just called Playground. And there's a studio that we can actually practice recording, just our practice. If you find a karaoke track, and I am going to give a PSA of, if you're doing karaoke, it's great. You can practice it on YouTube, blah, blah, blah. Please don't do this, like, again, PSA from a working musician and composer and songwriter. Make sure to just download the karaoke track for 99 cents and you'll get the MP3. You can drop it right in here. You'll have the full license to use it and practice with it and everything. And it just really helps create good models for our youth, and learning about intellectual property law and, how to be responsible and respectful musicians. Because there are so many resources out there, and part of YouTube's licensing is a blanket license. It's that, a lot of things are considered fair use. But once you kind of cross that line into like downloading things from YouTube, it just, I'll stop there. But I'm just saying, I would love to just have everybody, especially for this class, if you have a karaoke track that you want to work on, then just download it and from a site that you can license it from. Like I think it's is it karaokemp3.com or something like that. I haven't downloaded it in so long, because I usually make my own tracks.
I'll explore that, Dan, and figure
yeah,
that out.
if you want to, that would be great to come back with tomorrow, because I'm going to open up the BandLab class for everybody. But I just want to show a little bit of what we can do. And I gave Mrs. Pixel a sneak peek before the show, because I wanted to just say, hey, this next song that we're working on, you can actually create it yourself. You can create a track for it. And so here, there are a whole bunch of different sounds. They're organized into packs. I like to just go for the loops, because I can search for, let's say, I'm going to mute this because I'm not entirely sure what, I think this is like an accompaniment I did for the hymn, How Can I Keep From Singing, which is a favorite hymn. But yeah, let me just mute that one. And then we'll go like that. So I can just like drag some things over and, just start playing, mixing and matching. Let's say I want a bass. There's different ways you can filter into just, what instrument do you want? They have 15,938 bass loops, and that's actually if I'm already using that bass filter. So there's a lot of things we can do. Let me just add like drums. Let's take drums 3, and we can create our own tracks and compose. And, we can all be little laptop producers, because you can drag things out. And now, hopefully you can hear it.
Oh.
Mrs. Pixel, did you hear it?
Yeah, that was cool. I did. Yeah.
Okay, wasn't that random? Like, that's gonna be my theme song.
DJ Dan mixing it up.
Yo, join the challenge. How can I keep from singing? Okay, enough of this. I need to like stop broadcasting now.
All right, DJ Dan.
Thank you so much. Yeah. All right. A minute and 40 seconds. An hour and 40 minutes. Here we go. Styles. I love Styles already. Oh, thanks. Amazing. All right. Well, thank you everybody so much. I'm going to end it here and we'll see you tomorrow. We're going to start our BandLab adventure. And then Mrs. Pixel, thanks for doing that, a little bit of research on the different services that we can download MP3 tracks. And I appreciate that so much.
Yeah.
All right.
We're diving in. All right.
Diving in. Let's do it.
This
Changing